Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Tesla held their earnings call, and we had a lot of different opinions about it, of course, but let me try to show you why it is that we come to so different conclusions, and why I have never been more bullish on Tesla than I am today, and why the next 12 to 18 months is going to be very exciting. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So there are some difference in opinions about Tesla's earnings call, but that is nothing new. That has basically been the case since I started following the company over a decade ago. The problem with Tesla is that they are not just a normal car company. They are so many other things. They are a technology company, an AI and robotics company that just happens to also be making cars. The worst person to try to put a valuation on Tesla is probably an automotive analyst or other analysts that just see Tesla as a car company, like we know it from people like Jim Chanos back in the days that continue to call Tesla just a car company, completely missing the whole picture, failing to understand what kind of monster Tesla was, and therefore lost all his money shorting Tesla. And Wall Street analysts in general need to earn money short-term for their clients, so they are only looking at a company over the next 12 to 18 months. And by doing that, they are completely ignoring Tesla's future potential. Only looking at Tesla as a car company over the next 12 to 18 months, well, if that's the case, sure, it is not certain that Tesla will grow a lot over the next 12 months in car sales. So the earnings per share might not look so good, but that is really not looking at what matters. Sure, if you are only here for the short term, like 12 to 18 months, they can look at whatever they want. But if you see an analyst talking about earnings per share or PE ratio with Tesla, you know you are looking at a short-term analyst that is not getting what Tesla is turning into. It's like the analyst that would only focus on Apple's iPod sales that is not growing anymore. The tech that disrupted the Walkman is not growing anymore, and not getting that Apple's iPhone would become the new big thing, and that would actually disrupt the sales of Apple's own iPod. Even though Apple's iPod had its best year in 2008, a year after Apple revealed the iPhone, and actually had some quite good sales all the way to 2010 before the iPod really started to decline. But that is kind of how it feels for me with Tesla's car sales. Yes, they are Tesla's cash cow right now and will be for many years to come, but over the next decade it will become less and less important for Tesla's profits. Because you also heard the same kind of thing about Amazon back in the day from analysts. Analysts was laughing about how Amazon was valued more than Sears. That was crazy, right?
A couple of geeks who sketched out some software that could destroy Sears Roebuck.
That's the beauty of technology and the microprocessor. We've never seen anything like it.
And Wall Street isn't concerned that Amazon has never made a profit, not a dime. In fact, it lost $125 million last year. The company says it's investing for the future. Skeptics say it would have to sell every book being sold in the world today to justify its stock price.
I think my generation grew up with Sears.
And Amazon is worth 20% more than Sears is worth in market capitalization.
How do you view that phenomenon that Amazon today is worth more than Sears?
Investors are focused on the future. Amazon has growth potential that Sears doesn't.
Amazon was just a bookstore, and they were not really earning money because Amazon also invested everything they earned back into the company to grow some more. So if you were a short-term analyst and looked at Amazon's earnings per share, it would not look very good, and you would have missed out on a big opportunity, as many did, because they didn't want to look further out in the future than 12 to 18 months and didn't understand what kind of company Amazon was and was going to be, and only saw them as an online bookstore. Big mistake. So just like analysts today look at Tesla as a car company and talk about their margins on their cars and earnings per share, completely missing the bigger picture. But then there are also investors like myself that are long-term investors, and I only invest in basically one company. So we look with very different glasses on Tesla than Wall Street. We are looking at where Tesla will be in 5 to 10 years out in the future, and with all the things that are happening right now with Tesla, I have never been more bullish on the company as I am now. But that is also because I have been following the company closely for 10 years, and for the last 6 years I've spent 40 to 50 hours a week trying to learn as much as I can about the company. Not just about their cars or charging network, but how the company is run, their production method, their technology, their culture and way of doing things. So unlike most of Wall Street analysts that follow dozens of companies, I only follow one. Or more correctly, I follow Elon Musk companies, but mostly focusing on Tesla. So when you have done that for 6 years, and then you hear some analysts or automotive experts talk about Tesla, you can easily hear that they really don't get the company, because they are not like me working 40 to 50 hours a week on only this one company and have done so for 6 years. So I am part of a group you would probably call expert in understanding Tesla the company, just like we have so many other nerds out there on YouTube and many other places being experts in their field, like people talking about barbecue sauce on YouTube, making their own, sharing the recipe, coming up with new ones, and so on. There are so many nerds out there today, like myself, that knows a lot about a niche product or company. And that is why we are seeing so-called normal journalists getting something like Tesla, the company, completely wrong compared to nerds like me, because they might be covering dozens and dozens of topics and companies, knowing a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing. And most of their knowledge is only from the articles about Tesla from other journalists that don't really get the company either. And that is also why automotive analysts get Tesla so wrong, as they know a lot about the automotive world, so a lot about GM and Ford and how they run their business and how cars are normally produced. But that is exactly why they should not cover Tesla, as Tesla does not follow the rules of the automotive industry. They have rewritten the rules and changed the game completely, even reinvented how we make cars. Just like we saw with someone like John McEnroe. He has been in the automotive business for 40 years. In the beginning, he really didn't get Tesla, if you go back and listen to what he had to say about the company. But after talking with experts like Sandy Munro and many other, he started to see what kind of beast Tesla really was. But now Tesla is shifting the game once again. This is also why I don't cover Tesla's earnings report in great details anymore, because that is still just only looking at Tesla the car company, but that is really not that interesting anymore. I know Wall Street all just wants the more affordable cars, because that can give Tesla some short-term growth in their car sales, so that is all their focus. But as Tesla said themselves, they are shifting from the leader in the electronic car industry to the leader in energy, AI, and robotics. And that is where the future lies and where the real valuation will come from. Not their car business. That will probably, in 5 to 10 years, look like a rounding error in Tesla's earnings report. So that is where my focus is, because I'm here for the long run, and that is where the real valuation lies. So when you listen to Wall Street analysts, you have to remember they are only looking 12 to 18 months out in the future. So they might be right in what they're saying, but when you listen to someone like me, you have to remember I'm looking at least 5 to 10 years out in the future. And even more, as I see Tesla more like a retirement investment, and I'm only 44 years old, so we are talking about at least 20 years out in the future before I will probably touch my Tesla investment. So that is also why Wall Street analysts and Tesla long-term investors see so differently on Tesla and come out with so different conclusions on the earnings call, because one is looking 1 year out in the future and want to see growth in that short amount of time and is only focused on car sales and its margins and earnings per share. Whereas others like me is looking 20 years out in the future and has no interest in the short-term noise, and I would much rather that Tesla didn't spend a lot of time trying to make more profits in the next quarter or 12 months, but investing it all back into the company, just like we saw with Amazon back in the days and so many other companies in growth mode. Tesla need to invest aggressively in their energy, AI, robotaxis and humanoid robots, because that is what truly will make Tesla into the biggest company the world has ever seen. Not car sales. So that is why I listened to the earnings call and think we got a lot of great stuff about how fast Tesla will scale their robotaxi service in the US and Tesla's Gen 3 Optimus robot that will be ready by the end of this year, because those are the two products that will take Tesla to a completely new level, and many Wall Street guys can't still put it into their spreadsheet, so they ignore it completely and only focus on Tesla's sales of cars. But one of the reasons I'm so bullish on this, even though Tesla still have a long way to go with their Optimus robot and so on, is because Tesla has all the ingredients needed for something like the Optimus to become a success. They are the leader in the world when it comes to real-world AI, and they are working closely with xAI, that is the leader in AI models, and Elon has learned with xAI how to build AI data centers so fast it's hard to even understand how this is even possible. In a few weeks, xAI will turn on 550,000 units of GP200 and GP300 GPUs from NVIDIA for a coherent GPU cluster. Google and Microsoft thought less than a year ago that it was impossible to build more than 30,000 coherent GPU clusters, and now with the speed xAI is putting them up, they are basically adding 100,000 units a month, and no one else even know how to make it, and let alone build it this fast. And that knowledge is of course something Tesla also has, as Elon Musk is running both companies. So when it comes to developing an AI brain to go into a humanoid robot and manufacture that at scale, it's hard to see anyone better positioned than Tesla. But Tesla has also shown they have become head and shoulders above everyone else in manufacturing and know how to look at a product from first principle and design the product so it's easy and affordable to manufacture as well. So the Optimus is not only going to be a very capable robot, but it will be easy and affordable to manufacture as well. Just like we see Tesla with the robotaxis, the Cybercab, and the underlying technology that is driving the car, Tesla has designed a robotaxi that is going to be 100% automated and only cost Tesla something like $15,000 to produce, and that includes all the technology that make it drive itself. Not like Waymo and most others that have figured out how to make a car drive itself with their digital rails and mapping, but have never thought about manufacturing the robotaxi into its design, as they are just fitting cars they buy from third parties with their full self-driving tech. A very, very different approach. And Tesla has also shown they are the master of complex supply chain, and even much better than the other OEMs that we got a glimpse of thanks to COVID and the chip shortage and all that. And that is exactly what is needed at the end when they have got a humanoid robot design nailed down and the brain to run the robot. Then it really comes down to manufacturing and supply chain management, something Tesla is leading in as well. So when you know how Tesla is operating and what their skills are, Tesla is in the perfect position to make both robotaxi at scale work without the cost of making them getting out of hand like it will with Waymo, and also make humanoid robots with real-world AI data and manufacturing know-how. I really have a hard time finding anyone else that is in a position that Tesla is in. And we are kind of within 12 to 18 months from where we will truly start seeing Tesla pulling off both the robotaxi at scale and the production of the Gen 3 humanoid robot. So that is why I am so excited. But because we don't see the robotaxi profits in the earnings report just yet, or any earnings from the Optimus robot, well, Wall Street is completely ignoring it. but I think they will wake up within the next 12 to 18 months, and I think people will regret selling their Tesla stock because of all the noise about Elon Musk, because nothing has changed about Tesla's mission and where they're heading. But Tesla has changed into an energy, an AI and robotics company we have been talking about for years. Not that the car sales don't matter anymore, because it still does, as Tesla still gets most of their profit from the car sales, but that will change over the next decade. And we are finally here, and now the next 12 to 18 months is going to be very, very exciting for Tesla. And the best part for Tesla is still in front of us. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.